Welcome to my channel. Today, we are going back in time to ancient Rome. We will explore the crazy daily life of a Roman gladiator. This story is written in simple English to help you upgrade your listening skills. Please listen carefully to the words, the pronunciation, and the special tone of my voice. Let us begin our amazing journey into history together. Our story starts in a very small and dark room. This room is inside a big school for gladiators, which is called a ludus. The time is very early in the morning, and the sun is not up yet. The floor is made of cold, hard stone, and there are no soft beds here. A young man named Marcus opens his eyes slowly. Imagine waking up on a hard wooden board every single day. Marcus is not a free man. He is a gladiator, so his life is very hard. The morning air is very cold, and he can see his breath in the dark. Suddenly, a loud iron bell rings through the long hallways. Clang, clang, clang. This is the daily wake-up call for every fighter in the school. The master of the school, the lanista, does not like lazy men. If you do not wake up quickly, you will get a hard hit with a whip. Marcus stands up fast, his muscles feeling very sore from yesterday. He looks at his simple room, which has only a small blanket and a bowl of water. He washes his face with the cold water to wake his mind. The water is freezing, but it helps him feel alive and ready. He puts on a simple tunic made of rough, itchy wool. Remember, in this place, comfort does not exist for anyone. Marcus walks out of his room into a long, dark stone hallway. Other men are also walking out of their small rooms. Some of these men are very big and strong, coming from faraway lands. Some are from Gaul, some are from Thrace, and some are from deep Africa. They do not speak the same language, but they share the same scary life. Marcus walks together in silence toward the big kitchen area. It is time for their first meal of the day, which is very important. But do not think of a delicious breakfast with eggs and sweet fruit. Gladiators eat a very special diet to make them fat and strong. Marcus receives a large bowl of warm barley porridge and boiled beans. The food has no salt, no sugar, and absolutely no good taste. It is thick, heavy, and very difficult to swallow. However, they must eat every single bite of this dry food. The trainers watch them carefully to make sure they finish everything. The barley makes their bodies strong and adds a layer of fat. This fat is useful because it protects their deep muscles from sword cuts in the arena. Marcus drinks a cup of clean water and takes a deep breath. The sun is finally rising, casting a golden light over the high stone walls. The hard part of the day is about to begin. Now, the sun is high in the bright blue sky. The gladiators stand in the middle of a large, dusty courtyard. This courtyard is the main training ground, called the arena of the school. The ground is covered in thick sand to stop the men from slipping. Look at the center of the yard, where a tall wooden post is standing. This post is called a polis, and it is the gladiator's first enemy of the day. Marcus holds a very heavy wooden sword in his right hand. This wooden sword is twice as heavy as a real metal sword. The trainers make them use heavy wooden swords to build giant arm muscles. If you can swing this heavy wood easily, a real sword will feel very light. Marcus stands in front of the tall wooden post. He lifts his heavy shield, which is also made of thick, heavy wood. The trainer shouts loudly, "Attack! Strike! Move your feet! Marcus hits the wooden post with all his power. Thwack! Thwack! The wood hits the wood, making a loud sound that echoes in the yard. His arms start to burn with pain after only 5 minutes. But he cannot stop, and he cannot show any weakness. The lanista walks around the yard, holding a long cane. If a gladiator stops moving, the lanista hits him hard on the back. Again, do not stop! Keep your shield up! The trainer screams. Marcus's sweat runs down his face and into his eyes. The sand under his feet gets very hot from the afternoon sun. After hours of hitting the post, they must practice with each other. They put on light leather armor to protect their bodies a little bit. Marcus faces another gladiator named Lucius, who is a close friend. In this school, friends must fight friends every day to learn. They swing their heavy wooden swords at each other, blocking and jumping. Lucius hits Marcus on the shoulder, and Marcus falls into the hot sand. The fall is hard, and the dust enters his mouth and nose. But Marcus gets up quickly, ready to fight again. In the real Colosseum, if you stay down on the ground, you die. They continue to fight for hours until their bodies are completely exhausted. Every muscle is screaming for rest, and their hands are covered in red blisters. This training is designed to make them like iron machines. Only the strongest men will survive the hot sun and the hard wood today. Finally, the trainer blows a loud horn to signal the end of training. Marcus drops his heavy wooden sword, gasping for air in the hot, dusty courtyard. After the hard training, the gladiators must take care of their bodies. A gladiator is a very expensive investment for the schoolmaster. If a gladiator dies in training, the owner loses a lot of gold. Therefore, they have access to some of the best doctors in Rome. Marcus walks into the bathing room, where the air is warm and wet. He steps into a pool of warm water to wash away the sand and sweat. The warm water feels like a dream on his aching, sore muscles. After the bath, a special slave comes to rub his body with olive oil. The olive oil makes the skin strong and helps the muscles recover quickly. Imagine having a massage every day after a hard workout. But this is not a luxury hotel. It is preparation for a deadly battle. Marcus then visits the school doctor, who is very clever. The doctor looks at a small cut on Marcus's arm from yesterday. He puts a special paste made of plants and honey on the cut. Honey is very good because it stops infections from growing in the wound. Next, the doctor gives Marcus a very strange and famous drink. This drink is a mixture of water and burnt wood ash. Yes, you heard that correctly. They drink wood ashes. Modern science shows that ash has a lot of calcium in it. This calcium makes the gladiator's bones incredibly strong and hard. Marcus drinks the gray liquid, closing his eyes because it tastes terrible. It tastes like charcoal and dirty water, but he must drink it all. After the medicine, it is time for the big afternoon meal. Again, they eat a large amount of barley, beans, and simple vegetables. Sometimes they get a small piece of fish or some fat meat, but they are never allowed to drink sweet wine or eat expensive desserts. They must stay in perfect shape, heavy but very active. Marcus sits with the other fighters, eating silently in the warm dining hall. They look at each other, knowing that some of them might not be here next week. The big games are coming soon, and the Roman crowd is hungry for a show. Every meal, every bath, and every medicine is just to prepare them for the arena. Marcus finishes his food, feeling his body become strong and heavy again. He closes his eyes for a short afternoon rest, listening to the birds outside. The sun is setting now, painting the Roman sky in red and gold. The big day is tomorrow, and the city of Rome is very excited. People in the streets are talking about the famous gladiators who will fight. In the school, the atmosphere is very quiet and extremely tense. Marcus sits on a wooden bench, cleaning his metal armor. He uses a soft cloth to polish his bronze helmet until it shines like gold. The helmet is very heavy, with a beautiful crest of red feathers on top. In the arena, looking good is almost as important as fighting well. The crowd wants to see beautiful warriors, not just dirty fighters. Marcus also cleans his shin guards, called greaves, and his shoulder armor. His hands are shaking slightly as he touches the cold metal. He knows that tomorrow, this armor will protect his life from sharp swords. Every gladiator has a different style of armor and weapons. Marcus is a murmillo gladiator, so he has a large shield and a short sword. His friend Lucius is a retiarius, who fights with a net and a trident. If they are chosen to fight each other, it will be a battle of speed versus strength. In the evening, a special dinner is prepared for all the gladiators. This dinner is called the Cena Libera, which means the free feast. This is a famous tradition in Rome before the big games. For this one night, they can eat whatever they want, including delicious meats and wine. But this dinner is also very sad, because it might be their last meal on earth. People from the city, rich men and writers, come to watch them eat. They look at the gladiators like they are wild animals in a cage, placing bets on who will die. Marcus does not feel very hungry, so he eats slowly. He looks at the rich citizens who are laughing and talking about the bets. To the rich, the gladiators are just toys for entertainment. But to Marcus, this is his real, dangerous life. After the dinner, Marcus goes back to his small, silent room. He lies down on the hard bed, staring at the dark ceiling. He can hear the distant noise of the city of Rome, a city that never sleeps. He prays to the gods to give him strength and luck for tomorrow. The long, dark night passes slowly as he waits for the morning sun. The morning of the games has finally arrived. The sun is bright and the air is filled with a loud, roaring sound. This sound is the noise of 50,000 people waiting inside the Colosseum. The Colosseum is a giant stone stadium, the biggest in the whole Roman Empire. Marcus and the other gladiators are brought to a dark tunnel under the stadium. The tunnel is very cold, wet, and smells of old fear and blood. You can feel the ground shaking from the feet of the dancing crowd above. The people are shouting, laughing, and calling for blood to begin. Marcus stands in the line, his heart beating incredibly fast. Thump, thump, thump. He takes deep breaths to calm his mind and focus his thoughts. A guard walks down the line, giving them their real sharp metal weapons. Marcus receives his sharp iron short sword, called a gladius. The metal is cold and very heavy in his hands, but it feels good. He looks at the other gladiators standing next to him in the dark. Some men are crying quietly, while others are standing as still as stone. Remember, many of these men will never walk out of this tunnel alive. Suddenly, the big wooden doors at the end of the tunnel open wide. A wave of blinding, hot, golden sunlight hits Marcus in the face. The roar of 50,000 people hits his ears like a giant wave. Marcus steps out of the dark tunnel and onto the hot, white sand of the arena.
The Colosseum is massive, and the walls go up high into the blue sky. The crowd is a sea of white clothes, cheering and waving colorful flags. In the center of the stadium, high up on a beautiful balcony, sits the emperor. The emperor is dressed in rich purple silk and wears a golden crown of leaves. All the gladiators march together to the front of the emperor's balcony. They raise their right hands and swords high into the golden air. They shout together in a loud, powerful voice, "Hail, Caesar! Those who are about to die salute you." This is the famous promise of the gladiator to his ruler. The crowd goes completely crazy, screaming and clapping their hands. Marcus lowers his sword, his eyes scanning the massive crowd of faces. Serious, the moment of truth has arrived, and there is no turning back now.
The trumpets sound loudly, and the first battle of the day begins. Marcus is paired against a strong, heavy fighter from the north. This northern fighter has a long sword and a small, round shield. They walk toward each other slowly, circling in the hot, golden sand. The crowd goes completely silent, watching every step they take. Suddenly, the northern fighter jumps forward, swinging his long sword fast. Marcus lifts his large rectangular shield just in time to block the blow. Clang! The impact is so strong that Marcus feels the pain go all the way up his arm. He steps back quickly, his boots sliding in the loose sand. The crowd cheers wildly, wanting to see more action. Marcus moves in, thrusting his short gladius forward with power. The northern fighter blocks it, but Marcus is very fast. He uses his heavy shield to push the northern fighter back. This is a trick he learned during those long hours of training at the post. The northern fighter loses his balance and trips on the sand. Marcus does not hesitate. He strikes quickly, hitting his opponent's leg. The northern fighter falls to the ground, his long sword flying out of his hand. Marcus stands over him, holding his sharp sword close to his neck. The entire Colosseum is screaming, some shouting to save him, others to kill him. Now, the ultimate decision belongs to the emperor and the screaming crowd. Look at the emperor's hand as he watches the fallen fighter. The crowd waves their hands, showing their thumbs up or thumbs down. If they want the man to live, they press their thumbs down. If they want him to die, they turn their thumbs up. The emperor looks at the crowd, then slowly turns his thumb down. He chooses to show mercy because the northern fighter fought very bravely today. Marcus lowers his sword, stepping back to let his opponent stand up. The crowd roars in approval, cheering for Marcus's great victory. Marcus stands in the center of the arena, his heart full of relief and pride. He has survived another dangerous day in the life of a Roman gladiator. He walks back to the dark tunnel, knowing he will live to fight another day. This is the crazy, dangerous, but amazing story of a gladiator's life.